Get home from work. I saw inside the house. There is a group of younger sisters wrapped in bath towels. Dumbfounded, did I go to the wrong house? We looked at each other. They are also stupid. At this time, my sister poked her head out of the room. How did you come back so early today? They are all my friends. Just finished dancing nearby. Come over and take a shower. Then he smiled and said to the group of girls that this is my brother. My brother is so welcome home. My brother has worked hard. I'm stupid. The youthful girls called me brother in unison. My heart fluttered. That's what having a sister is. Is it the same as the happiness of having a room of sisters? Pretend to be calm. Wave your hand. Take out the snacks you just bought and share them with them. Hello, hello. Hello everyone. Take whatever you want. You're welcome. Brother is so nice. My brother is so handsome. My sister yelled at the kitchen for Bayou. Is it done? It's going to starve you to death. The voice of the person who spoke was sweet. I followed the voice. I saw a younger sister in a yellow dress. Cooking something. Curvy. Fair skin. She leaned sideways to meet my eyes. He smiled at me, brother. Have you eaten? All. Under the coercion and temptation of my sister's eyes. I had no choice but to go back to the house and rest. Doing projects these days has really exhausted me. Now I just want to catch up on my sleep. Just the noise outside the door. Bayou, your craftsmanship is too good. How do I remember the last meeting? You said you didn't know how to cook. Where to play after eating. It's still a home for each of them. Find a mom for each. Not once did I hear it. Eating quietly won't stop your mouth. There are still people sleeping. The house gradually quieted down. I've heard. The person who spoke was the little sister in the kitchen, Bayou. I always hear my sister talk about her. But the school flower of the great civilization. I don't know how long it took. It's dark anyway. I was woken up by the sound of a clanging sound. The horror movie I watched a few days ago came to mind. Roll over and get out of bed. Come to the living room. I remember there's another piece. Where have you gone? What to look for? Suddenly there was a sound. Barely scared the dark shadow on the ground to jump. The shadow turned his head stiffly. Follow the source of the sound to the person speaking. That's me. My phone's flashlight is on. I saw the true face of the black shadow. On the floor, Bayou squatted in front of a drawer. The light was streaming down on his dress. He stared at me blankly. Two words popped up at the end. Bayou's voice was like a feather. A gentle sweep on my heart. I felt a tingling. Haven't you come home yet? Well, he pointed to my sister's room. Little he suddenly had a stomach ache. I'm looking for stomach medicine. Stomach medicine is not here. Stomach pain is my sister's old problem. I always have a lot of flavored medicine at home. He'll find it. You go to the kitchen and pour him a glass of warm water. I was getting ready to get closer. Sweeping over a field of white flowers and indescribables. Hurriedly stuffed Bayou with a pillow. Let's add some clothes to the cold at night. He looked down. Slightly blushing. Bayou is wearing my sister's suspender nightdress. There's not even a knit sweater on the outside. I couldn't see clearly from a distance. It's closed now. Jill Bayou hugged the pillow and got up quickly. After giving up the place to me. Ran to the kitchen and poured a glass of warm water. Found stomach medicine. Let Bayou send my sister in. My sister will come out again after drinking the medicine. Just now I noticed that Bayou's complexion was very bad. It took about 2 or 3 minutes. I heard the door shut. Didn't see Bayou come out for a long time. I was just about to knock on my sister's door. As a result, I saw Bayou outside the door. Uncomfortable squatting on the ground. What happened to you? I crouched down. I saw Bayou's forehead in a cold sweat. Ask if you also have stomach pain. Bayou obediently raised her head. Cold sweat wet her forehead. Her voice was weak. Brother me. When I was just looking for medicine for my sister after the pain, I found that there was only one stomach pill left. I took out a blanket from the room and wrapped it around Hakutsuki. Can you walk? Bayou had no strength. I could only say no, weakly. I looked at the little lump right in front of me. Slowed his breathing for a moment. I don't know where to put my hands. I'll take you to the couch first. Shiratsuki's head rested on my chest. The tip of my nose lingers with the scent of shampoo. The distance between us is announced all the time. The moment my brother hugged Bayu onto the sofa, he lifted his eyelids and looked me straight in the eye. I suddenly felt all that left the world was my heartbeat. Seriously, Bayu's eyes are very good looking, mellow and spiritual. The skin is also fair. In such environments, I could still see the little fluff on his face. Wait, I just woke up. Is there any eye droppings? In case he sees it. The thought made my face flush. All the throbbing was gone in this moment. What are you doing, brother? Ambiguous atmosphere. Instantly interrupted by my sister's relaxed voice. My arms were empty. The white moon has shrunk into a ball. Snuggle up in the corner on the couch. Shiratsuki's stomach hurts. I'll go down and buy her medicine. If you're better, come and take care of her. My sister woke up instantly. Come over to appease Bayu. We both had stomach aches. Don't say what's wrong with the dormitory my brother bought. My sister's voice was very low. But I heard it anyway. You said, it can't be a small pot on the 3rd floor of my refrigerator. Yes, that's the one that can handle it. Under my gaze. My sister's voice is getting quieter and quieter. In the end, he lowered his head directly. I filled the hot water bottle from the kitchen and handed it to Hakutsuki. Apply it first to relieve the pain. I'm going to buy you medicine. Come back soon. My sister looked at Bayu and then at me. Because of Bayu's pale face, he wanted to speak again. In the end, he just muttered to me. I didn't look at you so positive when I had a stomach ache. 10 minutes later, I came back with a bag of medicine. My sister took the medicine. Looking up and down at my somewhat soaked bangs. You don't want to die. How not to bring an umbrella? It's just a light rain. I pulled my bangs up. My sister rolled over me. Turned around and went into the kitchen. When he came out, he took a glass of water and gave it to Bayu. I bought a miracle drug. After a while, Bayu stopped vomiting and diarrhea. Bayu grabbed my sleeve and thanked you today. Brother cute. What cute? But when I met Bayu's round face again, I just found out that I just pretended. I coughed softly uncomfortably. After taking the medicine, go back to sleep. My sister is still cleaning up in the kitchen. 07 The product makes a tinkling sound. Bayu lowered her head when she heard this. The sound is small. Just enough for the two of us to hear clearly. But brother, maybe it's not a problem with the dorm cauldron. I do this a lot. I want to go to the hospital. But there was no one to accompany him. I was scared again. Then I'll go with you. My sudden words made Bayu raise her head. His eyes crooked. It seemed to see through my whole mind. Smile at my feet, I don't have classes tomorrow afternoon. Can my brother accompany me to the hospital? My sister came out of the kitchen with 2 bags of garbage. And Bayu poked my hand at this time. I looked down at him quickly. Bayu's expression was innocent. Brother. You don't want to know anything about us, do you? Brother, are you hot? From my sister's point of view, it's the small movements that can't see me and Bayu. But I couldn't help but feel a heat on my face. As soon as I got back to my room, I lay in bed tossing and turning and couldn't sleep. Close your eyes. I remembered Bayu's pitiful appearance. In turn, it was her bad look. It stands to reason that I should be angry. But I'm annoyed anyway. Shiratsuki is about the same age as my sister. But my sister is like a baboon, like Tarzan of the apes. It's completely different from the white moon. The next afternoon, when I came to my senses, I've already sent a message to Bayu to the door of her school. Elder brother. My sister's face suddenly appeared outside the car window. It almost scared me out of the gas. I pulled down the window. My sister stuck her head in and looked around. Somewhat disappointed. You came to see me at school. Didn't you bring me a gift? I should have thought of it a long time ago. Coming to school to pick up Bayu is bound to bump into my sister. Brother, you shouldn't hook up with some of the little girls from our school. No, I finally touched the drop in the car. Lipstick that didn't go out. Hurriedly stuffed it into my sister. Do you like the latest model? I breathed a sigh of relief. His eyes unconsciously looked at the school gate. Sure enough, I saw that Bayu was dressed lightly, carrying a crossbody bag and running this way. Seeing that the two people were about to collide, I hurriedly sent a red envelope to my sister. I'm okay with her. Go play it yourself. After getting the benefits, my sister was very obedient. Wait until the white moon arrives. The two of them just staggered. The strange excitement in my heart gradually died down. But it rose violently as the white moon got into the car. Brother. Am I just so embarrassed? Bayou's voice was full of grievances. But when I looked at him, his eyes were full of wild rain again. I knew I was fooled again. The carriage was filled with a nice smell of fruity wood. It seems to be faintly emanating from the white moon. But the aroma is all too familiar. I recognized it as soon as I smelled it. It's my favorite fragrance for women. How can you spray this? Doesn't my brother like it? I like it. The atmosphere slowly began to rise. But don't know why. I was a little nervous. Open and close windows from time to time. Until the time of waiting for the traffic light. Bayou turned her head sideways to stare at me. That's good. I went out today and came for a perfect score. I skimmed my face. I didn't want him to see the corners of my mouth raised. After a while I spoke again. How old is it? 1 year older than Xiao Xiao. I nodded. Calculate the age difference between us. Fortunately, it's just 5 years old. That is, I was in college. Bayou's gap in junior high school is just that. The heart that was violently agitated just now because of Bayou's words. Due to the sudden rain. The newly born thoughts were immediately suppressed by me. Nothing good. She asked me rhetorically. Just kidding. Fortunately, I met it now. 2 years earlier, I can't think of it. As long as my brother takes good care of it. My sister ran all over the ground. I was startled and turned my head to meet Bayou's eyes. Is he hinting at me? Don't be nervous. Just do a simple check. Bayou lay on her side on the hospital bed. Hold a nozzle. Then the doctor began to extend the tube. It's hard to feel when you want to stretch. Bayou's face was swollen and red. I wanted to cough and retch all the time. When you feel uncomfortable, breathe in through your nose. Exhale through the mouth. Bayou's hand scratched and scratched at the sheets. Closed his eyes with tears in his eyes. It's a bit of an eye to be a boyfriend. The doctor gave me an amateurish look. I looked at Hakutsuki's hand trying to grab something. I couldn't help but send my hand over. Bayou's hand quickly burrowed into my palm. Then he gripped my index finger tightly. Not bad, well coordinated. The doctor quickly finished the gastroscopy. Talk to me about the precautions. The effect of the anesthesia has not yet passed. Just let him get some sleep. I paid the fee and went back to the ward. Bayou had already fallen asleep on the bed. Wait for Bayou to wake up. I sent her back to school. This time, I also bumped into my sister at the school gate. After school. She waited at home as if she was a teacher asking for sin. I couldn't hide this time. My sister hugged the fierce. His eyes were fixed on my brother. I didn't know you were so familiar with Bayou. Isn't he your friend? It's in our house again that I have a bad stomach. I don't have to care. My sister snorted. You don't want old cows to eat young grass. Bayou is chased by many people at school. There's no way he's going to take a fancy to you. I pretended to be angry. I pounded my sister's head. But in fact, it is very unpleasant. After returning to the room, my mood became very bad. Because of what my sister said. I admit it. A young, beautiful and well-behaved girl like Bayou. It must be popular with many boys. And I'm a full 5 years older than Bayou. Knocked on my sister's room. You call me. Listen to Zhao Zhouhan call his brother. Look at me with a dead fly on my brow. My sister had to pinch her throat and shout her brother several times. Yes, just when my sister shouted a second time. I regret it. I don't understand. How can there be such a big difference between people and people's voices? You're not going to hook up with another sister, are you? My sister looked at me deadly. Have you been cheated out of money by the uncle who turned on the voice changer? Nothing. I took advantage of my sister's reaction. Be the first to enter the room. Close the door and block out all noise. I realized. The brother Bayou called is different from others. I'm really thinking about Bayou. I began to recall a glimpse in the kitchen. White moon. Just put on a white dress that could not be simpler. But the hair is moist and clean. It's unforgettable. However, my sister was right. I didn't dare to show my liking for Hakutsuki. I'm afraid of making a joke. But when Bayou sent a message. Said to thank me for taking him to the hospital. When you want to invite me to dinner. I admit that I was shamefully hesitant. The place of eating was set by Bayou. It's the barbecue restaurant I frequent. I came here by myself to go to college. I don't know the place of life. I would also like to thank my brother for accompanying me to the hospital. Bayu took small bites of barbecue. The food is not as fast as I roast. It's okay, I'm baking fast. You can eat as much as you want. The action of ordering Hakutsuki to eat a meal. Her gaze fell on the lettuce I had just wrapped. Emerald green lettuce wraps the freshly grilled pork belly. Sprinkle with a delicious sauce. The corners of her mouth hooked. Brother, can I eat this piece in your hand? I've always been very self-remorseful about my sauce skills. Requirements for the white moon. Naturally, there is no reason not to agree. I just gave away the lettuce in my hand. Bayu lowered her head. A small bite. Bayu's lips were stained with a little sesame seeds. I subconsciously wanted to help him get started. But as soon as it approached the white moon, I smelled the smell of ancient wood. I realized it right away. This move is too ambiguous. But Bayu suddenly grabbed my wrist. Bring your face to my hand. Do I have something in my mouth? But I can't see it. Can my brother help me? I stared at Bayu's rosy lips. Subconsciously swallow saliva. And Bayu seemed to sense something. Sniffing my stiff hand. Peel off the sesame seeds from the corners of your mouth little by little. Brother, you're amazing. My face flushed. The barbecue pan makes a slight sound. At that moment I felt tormented like meat on a baking sheet right now. Hurriedly distanced me from Bayu. Silent and silent. Just keep putting meat on the white moon plate. No need to clip it to me. My brother wants to eat it too. Bayu reached for the barbecue tong. The little thumb accidentally brushed my hand. It tickled people's hearts for a while. As soon as he looked up, Bayu looked at me with a smile. My brother has worked hard. Let me barbecue my brother. Bayu, is really you? A voice of surprise came from behind him. A boy appeared in front of us. Then he sat down. He sat next to Bayu. My hand holding the meat stopped. Looking at the boy opposite and introducing himself with a smile. Hello brother. I'm Xiao Ruolai. Xiao Ruo came to sit down after me. The table was lively. Because as soon as he sat down, he screamed. How is the white moon? You're a barbecue. Hurry up and let me go. What if the hot oil burns you? Xiao Ruo came to talk. Very familiar. Shinobu took the clamp and scissors from Bayu's hand. My friend and I just had dinner over there. They'll just look at that image of you. I didn't expect it to be you. Bayu and Xiao Ruolai knew at a glance that they were old acquaintances. Jojolais was also particularly familiar with Bayu's tastes. It looks like Bayu has eaten a little more than just now. Jojolai's appearance is on the delicate side. But it's a broken eyebrow. The contrast is huge. When he sat with Bayu. Looks like it's right. But it stung my eyes inexplicably. I was even more silent. Eating the meat in the bowl one bite at a time. I'm full. Bayu glanced at me. Immediately said I'm going to the bathroom. At the moment, it was just me and Jojolet on the table. Brother Zhao eats more meat. Jojo Jolet gave me another piece of meat. I pressed my chopsticks against his clip. I said I was full. Or eat more meat. That way you're not in the mood to eat the grass. Jojo Lai meant something. It's just a hint that I don't want old cows to eat tender grass. He looked in the direction of the bathroom. Suddenly asked if you and Bayu are dating. I almost choked on the drink I had just drunk. No. That would be great. Jojolais ate the freshly roasted meat herself. The tone was full of nostalgia. The white moon people are good looking. The results are good. And you don't know. Does Hakutsuki still dance? It's a good jump. Later, Jojolai followed one after another. Repeatedly praised the white moon. But I really don't have the heart to listen to it anymore. Later, Bayu followed me to the underground garage. She could tell at a glance that I was in a bad mood. Whispered and asked what is wrong with you. This moment. 1,000 words stuck in the throat. But I can't say it anyway. What shall I say? It's to ask why Jojolais knows your taste so well. Or ask why Jolol knows you can dance. And I don't know. Finally, he said awkwardly. Nothing is just overeating. I let out a deflated breath. I know I'm not in a position to be jealous right now. Is it okay for my brother to discuss something with you? The car has just warmed up. I haven't had time to insert my seatbelt into the fork pin. Hakutsuki's hand pulls on the seatbelt. Inserted it into my fork pin first. what the situation? I looked up at him. Shiratsuki also looked at me. Next weekend is my birthday. Can my brother come? My heart trembled slightly. I don't know if it's because of the extremely close distance between me and Baiyu, or because of Baiyu's initiative. He's like this latch. It catches people off guard. Brother, his smile is so attractive. There's no reason why I shouldn't. I thought that next week would be Baiyu's birthday. I was so excited that I flew. Even going to work is more motivated. And I'm changing. Even my sister who only cares about my money. It's all visible. He looked at me undoubtedly, humming in the hallway. You're not normal. You don't want to talk nonsense. My sister scolded. You've been in the spring breeze these days. Something must be wrong. What's wrong? Isn't your stupid being brought down by the leader? You've been promoted and raised. His gaze fell on my tote bag. For Baiyu's birthday this time. Whether it is Sunshine NTU or the social elite. I bought them all. It's just to be able to make a brilliant appearance at this birthday party. My mom, my old. My gown. My brother-in-law. Are you crazy? You won't be able to speak. I looked at myself in the mirror. Suddenly asked my sister on the side. How about I find you a sister-in-law to come back? How about being a little older than you? No, my sister suddenly burst out with a sharp registration. I don't allow it. My sister-in-law can only be. It can only be anything. My sister's face changed. Just your height and looks. What girlfriend can you talk about? A second ago, he was still praising me for being handsome. The next second, the mouth was so blocked. The woman's sweet words are really not credible. Are you really in the situation? I mean it. Boys should still be safe outside. You tell me which girl it is. I'll check it for you. My sister followed me and chattered. It's bound to come out of my mouth. Who is this new sister-in-law? I closed the door in disbelief. Immediately outside the door, there was the sound of the door opening. Zhao Zhouhan, you open the door. You have what it takes to play crush. You have what it takes to open the door. I don't bother to care about my sister. She must have been suspicious of blood. The night before Hakutsuki's birthday. I had insomnia. This caused me to sleep until noon the next day. Wait until I'm fully dressed before driving over. It's already 2 hours later. As soon as the door opened, the people inside froze. I guess it must be me dressed like a dog. You can see this from my sister's eyes. Brother, if you don't make a sound, you're already a blockbuster. Your market today is too good. My sister's excited words still linger in my ears. I looked around. There was a momentary crackdown in his expression. Him wearing such a dead suit. Drove the most expensive car. As a result, the main lord finally escaped from my sister's clutches. It didn't take long to sit down. A glass of milk was handed in front of me. I looked up. Baiyu wore a dark green sundress today. I put on an apricot-colored shawl. She's very different from what she was in the kitchen before. It's like a bud that has just revealed its sharp corners. Suddenly blooming. Dazzling. My brother is so handsome today. Baiyu did things and sat next to me. The voice is soft. So light that only the two of us could hear it. Is it handsome? It's just average. Because the white moon is almost the words that are in my ear. So don't think about it. I knew it. My ears must have turned red again. At this time, someone proposed to play a game together. My sister was having a good time in the crowd over there. Some people have even started calling him daddy. I looked at Shiratsuki. Baiyu gently pressed her waist. The look of exhaustion on his face was revealed. I looked at the sky of hatred at his feet. No wonder I shook my head. Declined an invitation to play together. As soon as he turned his head, Baiyu was already leaning back on the sofa. Quietly look at me. Baiyu held out his hand to me. At this time, the green suspender of his pointed tip suddenly slipped off. He suddenly laughed. Touched my brother with his index finger on the back of my hand. Help me compare with me. Baiyu's body shape is really thin. Even the shadow of my bending over can completely envelop him. I picked up Baiyu's sliding shoulder straps. Put him back in his original position. Just as I was about to leave, Baiyu suddenly grabbed my hand. He winked at me. Do you read palmistry? My brother Baiyu took my hand. A hand like white porcelain was constantly sketching in the palm of my hand. This is the love line. He looked at me intently. Suddenly, fingers quickly slid along the lines of the palm seam. Bayu pointed at herself with some surprise and said what to do. Brother, your love line points at me. My hand shook violently. Retract violently. By going to the toilet. Quickly left this red-faced place. After coming out, I was pulled over by a couple of boys to play a few more games. Forced to listen to an ear. Jojo Lai was chasing Bayu's gossip. I finally got out of that group of boys. I turned around and prepared to find water to drink. As a result, I saw Bayu who kicked off his high heels. Leaned back in a chair. He didn't just look tired. Also slightly drunk. You've been drinking. I walked up to Bayu. Squatted down and looked at him. Bayu lowered his head slightly and looked at me. Suddenly, he grabbed my face.